Perspective might be a little different because I'm a prison abolitionist, and being a prison abolitionist, you believe that the carceral system actually cannot be reformed because it was designed to do exactly what it's doing today, which is to oppress us. I stand here today to raise the concern that consensual and meaningful care is not possible in prisons with the power dynamics and inherent deprivation embedded into this system. Vermont's incarcerated population is aging, ill, and in need of supports that address the underlying issues that led to their incarceration. We can prioritize initiatives like elder parole and compassionate release for our elderly and sick population so they can be with their families. They are not a danger to us, and no one deserves to die while incarcerated. These narratives around dangerous criminals distract us, in fact, from the actual fact that people who are incarcerated are more often than not dealing with mental health struggles, substance use, or poverty. Our own state's carceral system reflects this, with our mental health caseload. Out of around 2,000 people, 881 are receiving mental health care, 649 are receiving opioid use treatment, and 345 are just being held on pretrial detention. Looking at these numbers, it should be clear that what we need is services and not prisons. Let's try to envision the possibilities for our world when we fully and truly prioritize the well-being of our people and do not look to incarceration as the answer. If we cannot agree on prisons not being a solution, then hopefully we can agree at the very least that the Department of Corrections is being charged to handle way more than they should. Incarcerated community members should be able to receive treatment from their primary care doctors, therapists, and other providers while incarcerated. Why does rehabilitation equate to deprivation and isolation in our prison systems? Free Her holds the line to end this outdated system of caging people and instead invest in holistic alternatives to incarceration. It costs the state almost $100,000 per person to incarcerate them in our state, and that is just the baseline cost. This number balloons for folks who are pregnant or have medical issues. Instead of signing a contract with WellPath and spending $100 million on a new women's prison, we could be putting that money back into the community and also provide folks with better quality care from providers they already have an established relationship and trust with outside the prisons. It's really important to start having these deeper conversations about how we do things as a society. The problems around medical negligence will not be solved by building new prisons or signing new contracts. The same culture of negligence and abuse will remain unless we push for systemic change. Do we want to continue to invest in incarceration for generations to come? The more we pour money into prisons, the more we lose those precious safety nets that keep people safe, and we just increase the pace of people going into prison. The DOC's budget is in fact up from $168 million in 2021 to $189 million in 2023. That's a $21 million jump in 2 years. Where do we draw the line? We know prisons are not good for anyone, and from a prison climate study conducted in our state, we learned that during people's incarceration, 70% developed anxiety, 65% got depression, 55% developed PTSD, and the staff are not exempt from these health effects. 49% got anxiety, 46% depression, and 39% PTSD. And according to the Vera Institute, each year a person spends in prison takes 2 years off their life expectancy, and in fact, incarceration has lowered the U.S.'s life expectancy as a whole by 5 years. So if we truly want to address the health issues in our prisons and broader community, we must be innovative and push ourselves to imagine a world beyond prisons. They are a failed experiment. It is our turn to try out something designed by and for the community. Vermont can be a leader in what it means to envision and build a new world, one in which we do not utilize punishment as our tool for accountability, where our biggest mistakes do not mean the deprivation of our humanity, and where our priorities are shifted to care from cages. I will end by saying Free Her's vision is to build up vibrant, whole, and strong communities. We want to see facilities directly in our neighborhoods with wraparound services so our people can heal with us, and so funding that is meant for care, healthcare, harm reduction therapy, mental health, and other supports are actually in the hands of the people and not in the hands of the Department of Corrections. Thank you.